5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please do not change channel.
From Krypton Radio, brought to you by Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain with Yvonne Mason, it's the Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour, the Internet's premier pop culture talk radio show. You're tuned in, you're logged on, and now your hosts, G.W. Pomichter and Christian Basel. Who are you hanging with?
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin Web Show. I'm G.W. Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel.
And we hope you'll go down and subscribe so you come back over and over and over and over again. It makes Christian feel better.
You can hit that bell thing, too, while you're at it, that
Yes,
bell.
we've got artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians, cosplayers, creative minds of all kinds coming to you from Space Coast Comic Con. Over here on the Space Coast, we're in Cocoa, Florida, and we're hanging right now with Carlos Navarro, the radio show's host from Monsters in the Morning. Is that right?
That's right.
Got that right?
That's right.
And
Wait a minute, how many titles have that gone through? Monsters in the Morning, Monsters in the Midday, Monsters...
I think you got them all.
I got them all? Okay.
Yeah.
that was two, by the way.
I'm a big fan.
Monsters in the Morning,
Monsters in the Midday, Monsters.
And you just said Monsters. Just
And Monsters, just Monsters.
Okay. Let's start with your acting career.
Let's
a little
start
bit,
with
man.
it.
Let's
Let's
start
do
with
it.
that.
Yeah, let's go.
What are you doing?
You guys ready?
Right now, you're not actually acting. Well, he's acting like he's having a good time.
No.
But right now, he's not actually acting. He's sitting on our show. So, what are you doing? Like, not right now, but now.
He's sitting down. What do you think he's doing?
Taking a break, man.
Taking a break.
Answer.
Having a cool
You got any
one.
small projects you're working on in between things?
I do. I have.
See,
There's
he's
a.
not playing Aquaman, by the way.
No.
He only looks a lot like a guy who was gonna play
Dead
Aquaman
on.
until they got somebody else that didn't look like him.
There you go. Yeah, I'm in the new Madden. I'm in a new Rockstar game. I do my daily morning show here on Monsters. You can check me out to the Top Carlos on my Instagram as well. And I do a bunch of stuff on there. I'm in national
We're gonna drop a bunch of
campaign.
links down below so they can
Awesome,
find
man.
all of that stuff,
Very cool.
man.
How'd you get your gig on the Monsters?
Yeah.
Man? How'd you become the Monsters?
You know, I was doing some production work out of right out of high school, and Clear Channel Communications noticed it, and they asked me to come in and kind of at a young age, kind of work in their production staff.
Nice.
And they kind of then Russ Rollins saw me on there, and he said to come on board, and so I started there kind of like basically about 17, and then did about 10 years with them.
Okay.
And then I decided to do more acting, and that's because I wasn't really acting then. And then at about 27, EA Sports offered me to come over and be their kind of talent and producer to travel the world with them and work with their athletes, and did that for about 3 years. And then the Monsters asked me to come back.
Cool.
And then, doing The Walking Dead. So it's just been every single thing that I've ever kind of wanted to go for, I've been able to achieve, and it's worked out well.
It's really cool. And we try to tell a lot of our young artists this, that going into arts and entertainment, it's a cumulative career.
Oh, no doubt.
Start here. Don't be afraid to learn everything you can in the production office,
100%.
And accumulate knowledge
Yeah,
along the way. Master
yeah.
your craft.
Yeah, that's what I always tell. There's obviously
Walking Dead, man.
Yeah.
You get a gig. You're like, yeah, I'm acting.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
And then it's the hottest thing in the friggin' world.
Yeah, it's insane.
What does that do? That just...
Well, I was a huge Walking Dead fan to begin with. It was my favorite show, and as an actor, people are always like, man, if you could be on one show, if you could be on, I'd always say Walking Dead. I don't care if it was one scene, whatever, I'd always just say Walking Dead. And then, I was booking this, booking that, and then over 5 years they saw me with 15 different characters that I would audition for, and they'd say no. So finally, they put me. They were. What ended up happening was I later talked to Scott Gimble, the executive producer, and he said, "No, we were just waiting for you, and we were just waiting for the right character."
We were waiting for the character that you could actually act for.
Yeah, no, it was quite nice actually. Yeah.
I mean, this will be like after 15, we know he shows up for work, so go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much.
He shows up when we're not paying him. He won't go away, this guy.
It worked out well. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That you know what? That's an exercise for our artists and our entertainers out there in persistence.
Right. No doubt.
That's right. You got to work for it.
No doubt.
You've been traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Doing conventions.
Yeah.
She's got over there most interesting or unique travel moment. I don't know where she finds these questions. We don't ask.
I don't know. Let's see here.
You're on the convention circuit, so anything you could say is still PG.
Most interesting. Yeah. Most interesting unique travel moment. Huh.
What you know? What taking on a
I don't know,
hugely
but I mean,
popular.
I went to Machu Picchu once, and I thought that was pretty awesome. But
That's cool.
That has nothing to do with convention, but that was something.
You went to Machu Picchu.
Yeah, I'm Peruvian, half Cuban.
So Machu Picchu was just like a thing to do. Is that like a?
No, my dad was like, we got to go to Machu Picchu. He's Peruvian. He's straight from Peru.
So he was like, we're going there.
Yeah, we're going there. And at the time, I didn't realize the magnitude of it.
What was your first thought? You're like, Machu Picchu, what?
Yeah, honestly, kind of at first. I was kind of like,
Then you're standing in
okay.
the shadow
Well, this was a while ago. I was 20. I'm 37 now. And it was like, now it's a big deal. Like, and I know it's kind of, but really over the past 15 years has it become this kind of phenomenon. People who like from Peru and that knew a little bit more about it, knew what it was. But so I'd like to go back and check it out again with my daughter, with my family. And
well, you know what's cool is nowadays, I think it's 700 channels now. And nowadays, archaeology and history, it's pop culture.
It
it's
is,
as much
no
pop
doubt.
culture than anything else.
No doubt.
You know, between whether it's ancient aliens or it's there was one we watched that was history. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. They call
that's
it,
cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
All the. It's becoming pop culture.
It is,
They want
yeah.
to know their history. They want to know about culture. So Machu Picchu is like a huge deal now. Now it's
great.
I was like, we saw an aerial shot, a drone shot in one of those shows.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
And the people wandering around. I mean, it was like Disney World.
Big thing to that economy there. And
Yeah.
it's massive. Yeah,
It's like Disney World now.
Yeah, I haven't been to Cuba yet. I'm hoping to go to Cuba.
That's cool.
And that would be cool. But I'm pretty sure my work will take me there. There's been a couple of times where I was supposed to be shooting in Cuba, and it just didn't work out. But I know for sure it'll be coming soon. So
actor to radio host, or radio host to actor, really. So in radio, what you started out in production.
Yeah.
What put you on the air? What hooked you into say I want to go and talk to?
Well, it's funny. I always did voices. I always produced. Even as a kid, I always shot with my camera and made little videos, and it was reel to reel. It wasn't like digital. I'm 37, so you guys can imagine.
There were like things.
Exactly.
We had film.
And so
you have just broke the internet. They were like, "What is that?"
So I was always interested in it, but I didn't know exactly which way to go. And then I was looking for something for a host, and I found it. And he was like, "Hey, boom!" And then I don't know, things kind of happened. I just knew I always worked hard, and that's what I like. What you were saying is actually really important about learning every single facet, because a lot of young actors come up to me and say, "Hey, what's a little secret? What's this? What's that?" And I would say, learn as much as you can.
Work hard.
Go to Adobe Creative Cloud and download every program that they have and learn it, because gone are the days of people that crack open the mic or just jump in front of the camera. That's all they do.
We had a kid, a neighbor kid, come over and say, "I want to be a YouTuber. How do I do that?"
Yeah.
And learn how to edit, learn how to get good sound. There's nothing that I would love to have the staff to do it all,
exactly,
right? Just show up and do the interview.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me and Carlos, we're talking.
Right.
Go work now.
Yeah.
No, but it's everything. You got to know everything.
Totally,
right?
because when you get to the point where like this, where you have a staff and you got camera crew, and you're at an event and you're interviewing people, then you're ready to go, because you've been doing every single thing beforehand. So I commend what you guys are doing here. It takes a lot of work to put this together. People really are still in the infancy of understanding digital media and how huge it is and where it's going. And my wife's a YouTuber, so it's a lot of work.
You want to give her a little plug?
Oh yeah, I am Megan Navarro. Yeah, check on her out. She does home decor and design.
Oh, wow,
and
cool.
She has a bunch of subscribers. She's doing. YouTube has been great to us, so shout out to everybody.
God
on YouTube.
bless them, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
YouTube, just digital media in general.
Yeah,
what
it's
a
massive,
boom for
man.
arts and entertainment.
Massive.
To be able to let people in and learn their craft.
Totally.
One of the reasons we do what we do is we always tell people, when you get to be the top 1% of your craft, you pick up the phone, you can call any number of Jimmys on the phone, and they'll help you out.
Right.
But when you're working in these rooms out here, these artists and these guys, you need some kind of an outlet.
Yep.
And the digital has made that possible.
Yes, without a doubt.
But it still means we have to master what we're doing.
Right,
And,
right,
you know, you wouldn't be a great actor if you didn't practice acting,
Exactly,
if you didn't act, or know what the camera guys were going through.
Oh,
You'd know
no,
when your shot was off and you're like, oh man, they're going to yell right now.
Well, just in general, you know, when I meet these young actors who will come up to me and say, hey, well, what's going on? And I know they're doing a long shot right now. And then we're going to move into a medium shot. And then we're going to move into a close-up. And then you start talking to them, and then they gain more respect for the crew. I've done every single thing on a set before. I've been
That's
a PA.
awesome.
I've edited. I've shot. I've had a photography company. And so I have massive respect for every angle. So when I'm sitting there and I get the time to just play a character, are you kidding me? That's the easy part,
Gravy,
bro.
baby.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then I'm just going to get to go back to my trailer. Okay, peace out, y'all. Make sure y'all get my cookies. You know, I like my cookies off.
Today's a good day.
Exactly.
That's right. Nobody's asking me to push a thing. Where are you going to be next? Where are you going from here?
You know, I'm hosting a big event in Orlando next week called Soto After Dark.
Awesome, man.
And it's a bunch of live bands. Yeah, I do stuff with my radio. I do stuff emceeing. I'm on a new video game from Rockstar Games coming out that's going to be really big.
You do a little work with music, so we're going to give you a little plug too.
Okay.
Gentlemen, over off the camera. Come over here. Come over here.
Yep.
Over here.
Come on.
This guy here.
This way. This guy here. This guy here is a member of our Hanging with Web Show family.
Hey, what's up, man? How you
There's
doing?
Billy
Carlos,
Floyd.
nice to meet you.
Billy is the lead singer from a great band called the Kitchen Killers out of Orlando.
Man. Oh, awesome.
We want to
The Kitchen
introduce you
Killers?
guys. The Kitchen Killers. Check them out
man, that's
online.
awesome.
And he's Carlos, in addition to being Carlos, because they know who he is. That's Gus Carlos. In addition to doing that, he has a lot of MC and he does a lot of music stuff. So I wanted to make sure.
Russ Rollins before you're talking about 104.1 The
Yes,
Monster.
yes.
I actually was listening in the morning that they said one of their employees just got hired by The Walking Dead, and they were wishing
Oh,
him the best
really?
of luck.
That's right. There he is. That's right.
Dude, that is. Hey, I appreciate you saying that, man. That's cool.
Yeah. No, we don't.
You know
we
what?
don't give those away.
That's pretty
are
crazy.
for-
Thanks,
those-
man. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Following
Yeah.
is great.
No way.
That's awesome, dude. It is weird how life is like that, where you'll hear one little thing and go, "Oh, I wonder why that stuck with this has hung around for 2 years." And then,
Boom. There it is.
And ironically, I'm just now getting into Harry Potter. I know. I missed the train, but I have a 7-year-old daughter, and yeah, no.
See what he did there?
Yeah, see the connection.
he did there?
But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm in the second movie. We're just about finishing it up. Like I said, I have a 7-year-old daughter, my wife and I, and we're like, we get it. We know it. It's so awesome. You know?
I've just seen the first movie,
Oh,
and I
really?
just started the second movie about a week ago.
It's so good.
Slytherin felt like kind of my house, and I'll tell you, just being here for the first 5 minutes,
Yeah.
sitting behind the table, people were coming up to me like, "You're Slytherin." Like, I made more enemies in this than I've ever made.
That's
Just to let you know, Billy is cosplaying. This is not where he wears.
Because you know what, dude?
Around place.
I'm Slytherin too.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's funny.
Wait, I got my clickbait just now. Carlos Navarro, Slytherin.
It's true. Look, I realized that here. I will always remember this con because I saw a girl walk up and she was wearing Gryffindor, right? And I said, oh, I'm Gryffindor too, because I didn't realize, right? And she goes, really? She goes, and the girl goes, I think you're more Slytherin. And I was like, hey, wait a second, I take offense to that. And she's like, no, it's not bad. It's not all bad. And I'm like, and then they started reciting the Slytherin stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm a Slytherin.
Got that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Carlos, we're going to remind you at 2
Yes.
o'clock, right here at
Yes.
Space Coast Comic Con.
Yes.
You go on in the other room,
that's
and
right.
Billy and the Florida Con artists, they'll sort you into your Slytherin house.
Oh, really?
Put the hat on, they will sort you
They
into your
will
house.
make it official.
I
Make it
may be
official.
stopping by.
I'm telling you.
That is pretty
That's
awesome.
what Space Coast Comic Con is all
Yes.
about, guys. When you come in here, you sit on the Hangin with Web show, you meet the Kitchen Killers,
Nice.
you go in and get sorted into your house,
I'm gonna go. I might get sorted. I might
and
get
then,
sorted.
and then you get fans come up to you and they've seen your
Lovely.
acting, they've seen your work, they've heard you on the radio.
Beautiful.
I don't know if I'm allowed to hand the stars anything, but that's one of our Kitchen Killer schedules, so I don't want to.
Oh, look at that.
Break anything.
Oh,
like it.
oh. What do you mean we get in trouble? Look at the eye.
I'm gonna go.
Get out there, brother.
All right, we're out of here.
Get
Don't
out the
make
strip
mistakes.
bars.
Don't
Here come
make
the
Carlos
plugs.
sick. Guys, we got to wrap it
Here
up.
come
As we wrap it up, we're going to say thank you to our partners and friends at Some Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Pound the Grape in Melbourne, Florida. If you're ever over here on the Space Coast and you want to stop and have a glass of wine, Pound the Grape, best little
And
cocktail.
one more, and Embellish FX.
Embellish FX.
They're here in Orlando,
That's right.
and they are a cosplay
Right.
shop.
Thank you guys for supporting the show. Thank all of you for watching as we hung out with Carlos Navarro. That's right, it's a hanging out show. If you didn't learn anything, it's because you haven't gone to his IMDb page and just read.
Come on.
We're just
And
hanging
he's
out
Slytherin,
here.
too.
I'm
And he's
Slytherin.
Slytherin
So we
house.
know it.
Boom, been sorted. By the time you see this, he will have been sorted into his house. It's official. All right, guys.
just heard it thrown
Remember,
down.
log on, tune in, and
See who we're hanging with next.
Thank you so much.
Dude, that was awesome, man.
Sometimes finding an anchor is the only way to survive. Chris Fenner's Dark Road series is on Amazon now. Start with Book 1, Addicted. Darkness creeps in. Continue with Book 2, Damaged, and the series finale, Avenged. Not every battle can be won alone, and sometimes it takes a little light to defeat the darkness. Chris Fenner's Dark Road series on Amazon.com today.
In the summer of 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures. Trapped inside the studio with the killer, Lucky must find the killer before time runs out. Lot 28. Own it today. Available iTunes and Amazon.com.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Hey everybody, it's me, John St. John. You know, the voice of Nukem, and this is Hangin' with Web Show, baby.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel.
And we are at Tampa Bay Comic Con. This is the last day of Tampa Bay Comic Con, and we're right now hanging with Kevis Mitchell.
Kevis.
See, she does that to me on purpose. She don't put any kind of symbols or anything.
No
She
schwa, nothing hyphenated. It's no problem.
She likes it when I. Oh, there you go. Off camera,
thank
we've
you.
got a picture. So he's working on a piece. We're going to tell you about it in a minute. This is Kevis Mitchell, an artist with Twisted Wire Art. I did say that right. That wasn't mispronounced. Twisted Wire Art.
Yes.
Everybody at home has ever bent the coat hanger and didn't know what to do with it. You're all underachievers, because he knows what to do with it, man. He can make stuff. It just comes in a spool of wire, and when he's done with it, it's like people and places and stuff.
We got an example right here.
Almost. That is going to
someone's
be. Kevis, thanks for hanging with us. First of all,
Oh, my pleasure.
thank you very much, man, for coming over.
I got to ask. Let me follow the first question, Kevis.
Volley
What
that.
inspired this? I got to know.
Okay, as a kid, I was always a G.I. Joe fan.
Okay.
All right, so Snake Eyes was my favorite character. I loved him. And, we didn't have a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
So I would get a G.I. Joe man for Christmas and for my birthday. Good
There you
times.
go. There you go.
That's 2 a year, by the
Yeah.
way. You could collect a lot.
So what I did was I would play with everything that I could find. And I was blessed with this imagination where I could just look at an inanimate object, and this would be Snake Eyes, and this would be Storm Shadow, and I would play with them.
Now, I want to point out to all the people on YouTube, y'all have done this before. Y'all picked up the little needle nose pliers, and you looked at it, and you did the Star Wars thing, because that's a spaceship. You did that, right?
That's exactly what I did.
It's not just me now. I
coming in
found
for
my
you.
tribe, because it's not just me. Kevis did it too, and Kevis took it to a whole other level, because you just...
But
now,
you can see Snake Eyes in this. It would take
See,
me
he
a while,
can
but
see-
you
yeah.
you see it. You see it.
Well, the rest of the story is this. So my family is a church-going family, and we spent a lot of time in church. And church, at times, for a 6- and 7-year-old, is quite boring. Right? When the music stops and the preacher starts preaching, kids check out. I'm sorry. It
y'all
happens.
have all seen Charlie Brown. Y'all know what happens when the kids are sitting there and somebody starts...
That's exactly what happened.
That's right. A lot of them are doing it right now on YouTube.
yeah.
They're like, oh, God, there he goes again.
Yeah.
That's what you're listening to.
So what happened was I would take my little G.I. Joe men to church.
Mm-hmm.
I would play with them and have a great time. Mom didn't like that because here's little Kevis over here playing, making the fighting sounds everybody's made, and it's distracting. So she would take the toys away from me, and it would be a bad day for me. One day, she did a pat down, make sure I didn't have any toys in my pockets. True story. I'm not making this up.
TSA on you before
And
church.
I found a piece of wire on the ground, like about this big. I stuck it in my pocket, and when Mom did the pat down, she didn't see the wire. So I got in church, and of course, that moment came when the music stops and it gets boring for a kid. I pulled out the wire, and I'm like, what can I do with this? I made my first stick man, and I just played with him the entire service. Great time. I mean, it was amazing.
Best service ever.
Best ever. Best ever. So what happened was, back in those days, kids, you guys don't know anything about this, we used to walk home from school. So I went to John Cox Elementary in Lakeland, Florida. So it's about a mile away from my house.
Yeah.
And it was a long walk. One day, I was walking by the unemployment office, and they were redoing the phone systems. So there was a big, huge box full of wire outside by the dumpster. And I'm walking by and bebopping, and I had in my mind the image of this wire that I played with. And I saw a gold mine, a freaking wire treasure trove.
Treasure chest.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
It was amazing. So I'm 8 years old. I grabbed this box of wire, and it was ridiculously heavy. And my 8-year-old frame dragged this wire the rest of the way home. And in my mind, I'm like, this is great. This is great. I get home, and I start creating my little stickmen to play with. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to make my own little guys to play with. And they were G.I. Joe, they were Snake Eyes, they were Transformers. Whatever I could imagine, my little guys became that.
That's
so
awesome.
A transition happened. That gave me 3 years or 4 years worth of material to work with. Over the course of those 3 years, my little stickmen and my imagination went from being little blobs of wire to actual characters.
People that you could
and
make.
My family would look at them and go, hey, that kind of looks like a soldier. It kind of resembles it. I learned how to make weapons. I learned how to make armor. I started experimenting, and I got better. So this is over the course of years. Then high school came, and of course, it's not cool to make wiremen, so I tried to hide it.
Yeah.
Then,
as one does.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't want the girls to know that I was making wire sculptures. Then I joined the Marine Corps, and I didn't care what anybody thought. Come mess with me, I'm a Marine. I don't care. So
outstanding.
I started making wiremen, and I was stationed in Quantico, Virginia. I'm a part of the Presidential Helicopter Squadron, working under President Clinton.
Awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, they redid the phone systems there. And I
got a whole bunch more wire.
Got a whole bunch more wire. So I'm in my barracks when we were waiting for stuff to happen. I'm making wire sculptures. By this time, I've got about 15 years of experience. Or how many years it was.
And they're starting to really look the way you see them.
Then people are starting to see what I'm seeing. Now, this has been 30 years ago that I started. 35 years or something like that. Now, what I imagine, people actually see. So I've been working with this thing for so long, and I started doing like craft shows and garage sales, and a family member of mine named Charlotte, hey Charlotte, she recommended, hey, won't you do a Comic Con? I'm like, Comic Con, this is where nerds are. I'm like, I'm not a nerd. I'm a Marine. No. Well, I did my
By the
first
way,
con.
I want y'all to know, we can't possibly count the number of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that are on that floor right now. Huh?
Very
Right?
Well,
there you
Thank
go.
you for your service, sir.
Oh, my
So,
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
y'all don't know it, but after we do all the rough and tumbley stuff, we're all about the Batman and Robin, baby.
Of course.
That's it.
So here's what happened. So my big idea, after I tried the first con, I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
This is some really cool stuff.
About 25 years ago, this was exactly what you thought it was.
Okay.
This was a place where all the kids that got locked inside lockers at school, this is where they opened the lockers and let us out.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, it became cool.
Yeah.
And everybody showed up, and it's been a party ever since.
It's crazy.
It's awesome, ain't it, man?
And just breaking the stigma of what everybody thought it was, especially people who came here for that reason.
It is. Now, what is
They
the
found the
most
true reason.
challenging piece that you've ever done?
Okay, there's a couple. Right now on my table, there's a wire sculpture titled Mercy Angel. It's a 3-foot tall angel with a wingspan of about
We are going to grab a photo of that so we can spin it up over here because y'all got to see this piece. It's gorgeous, and it boggles your mind that this was all done from a straight piece of wire.
Yeah,
I mean,
all by hand.
It is. It's amazing. All by hand.
All by hand.
That's incredible. Now, we talked a little off camera. You had a particular challenge at one con. You did a piece in less than 30 minutes.
Yes.
From scratch, from wire, from the spool to the character in 30 minutes.
Well, that's an interesting story. So I'm at the Chicago Comic Con, and it's the closing day of the con. It's been just crazy rough with people everywhere. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Chicago Comic Con floor. It's ridiculous. There's thousands of people walking around everywhere, and you just can't turn around. This wonderful little kid comes up, and he's like, "Hey, I want a wire sculpture." And I'm like, "All right, I can make one for you. What do you want?" And he goes, "Well, I want my own character." I'm like, "Wait a minute. We got like 30 minutes before the show's over. They're making the announcement. The show floor is now closed. You know, getting ready to close in 15, 30 minutes." I'm like, "Dude, we're almost out of time." And I'm like, he showed me the picture of what he wanted. I'm like, "That's going to take a lot of detail work. I don't know if I can. Are you back tomorrow?" He's like, "Well, no, it's the end." I'm like, "Shoot. Okay, I can do it for you." Nice kid, real respectful. I'm like, "You know what? I'll give it a shot." So the clock's ticking, and here I am. The lights, they're turning the lights off on the con. The guy's walking through with the bullhorn saying, "Hey, get off the floor. We're ready to go." The show floor is now closed. And I'm like, and I'm just like trying to get through. And the character had all these little detail pieces and different colors.
And if y'all have been at a Comic-Con and know what it's like at closing time,
yes.
They are very direct. Yesterday here at Tampa Bay Comic Con, we were closing up, getting ready to close up shop. We were walking down, saying goodbye to some of our artist friends out on the floor, and over the loudspeaker, the lovely Tampa Bay Comic Con voice came out and said, "Do you see your wristband? It would look great in the daylight. Get out." I mean, they are very clear. They want you to leave. The pressure is on.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And he's doing this. He's working.
Yeah,
and they're throwing him out.
All right, so what happened? I'm blazing. I mean, I'm giving it everything I got. My hands are cramping up. I've been making sculptures all day. I'm like, dude, I'm tired. And usually I make it at a nice leisurely pace, talk to people, shoot the breeze, have a good time, drink a Coke. It's all good. No, I'm sweating. It's hot. I'm like, I feel the pressure because I don't want to let this little kid down, man. I mean, you know, I've been in the shoes where you want something, somebody's going to, you know, provide it for you or make it for you, and you know, you end up with failure or you know, disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to disappoint this young man. I'm like, I can do it.
Well,
and now it's a
for
challenge.
geek culture, you're at Comic-Con. This is Disney World. It's the happiest place on earth. And he's got, now by the time we just told 10 minutes of the story, that means he's only got 20 minutes left to make this young man happy.
Oh, man. So I'm flying. And the countdown's going. So now the guy with the bullhorn is 10 feet away. The show floor is now closed. Please proceed to the exit. And I'm looking at the little kid. Look, don't go anywhere. Stay right there, man. You're good. You're good. And I'm flying, right? Lo and behold, I finished the sculpture. They turned the lights off. The guy's standing right there next to me with the bullhorn, looking at the kid going, "You got to leave." And I'm like, "Hey, it's all right. It's done." And the look on this kid's face, man, there aren't very many moments at cons that, like, touch me. And this is a true story. So, I mean, that kid, the elation that he had, I mean, it blessed me. And I'm like, wow, man, this is pretty cool.
That's the moment you know that you made the right career choice, that being an artist was something you were meant to do because your art touched somebody's life.
It was
and that young man. I bet you that young man's out there somewhere out on the World Wide Web right now, and he remembers that figure. He's probably got that figure up on his dresser.
Oh yeah.
And he remembers that. Where are you going to be next, man? Where can the next young man find you?
Chicago Comic Con.
Chicago Comic Con. You're going to get back there, young man. If you're out there on the World Wide Web, come back and show Kevis
now,
that you still have that.
How long does an average piece take normally?
Well, it varies. It totally varies on the size.
The average, like.
I'm going to give you a number. You're going to think I'm blowing smoke.
No. I'm watching it now. I can see that it's intricate.
This is not the average piece. This is a smaller version of my sculptures.
Okay.
I started the small scale. You sent me to another story. All right.
And so, that's what we do.
So what I do is I normally my sculptures are about 8 to 10 inches tall, and they take about 8 hours to make, depending on how complex the character is, how much is involved in it. Like, all the weapons and armor I have to make separately and put on the sculpture.
Right.
The sculpture itself, the actual physical being of the sculpture, Doesn't take an incredible amount of time. It's maybe like 2 hours or so to make, depending on the size. But when I start adding armor and weapons and embellishments,
the detail work.
all that detail work takes an incalculable amount of time. Then if I make it bigger, it just starts adding hours.
Right.
So what I tried to do, I found a nice size about 8 to 10 inches that I can do in about 8 hours. And if it's not very complex, maybe 5 hours. But average is floating in there somewhere.
Wow.
These guys I can do in about 1 to 3 hours, depending on complexity.
Okay. Now this guy right here, this is going to be Nightwing. That's right. Yeah,
Yep,
nice
that's
one.
right.
It's going to be Nightwing. You can find this at Kevis's booth at a Comic Con near you. By the time you see this video,
It's already sold.
that's already. You
Somebody
can't
bought it.
find this
Okay.
piece. You got to find the
Never
person
mind.
who bought this piece, and you got to take them out back and take.
No.
Oh,
I'll make you another one.
you make another one.
Yeah.
All right.
No
That
harm.
was rough, man. That
No
was,
harm, no harm.
Yeah, no harm, no harm. All right, folks, we got to wrap it up. We've had a great time hanging with
I'm
Kevis
speechless.
Mitchell here. Before we go, we're going to say thank you to our partners and friends. Christian, thank those
Yes,
nice
sir.
people.
Summon Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, Yvonne Mason with Off the Chain, and our new friends at the Hanging With family, Pound the Grape, located in Melbourne.
Yep.
Where our friends, the Kitchen Killers, performed.
Yep.
And our new friends also, as well in Central Florida. If you're a cosplayer and you don't know them,
Oh, thank you.
and you don't know,
Shoulder off.
if you don't know who they are, you're going to learn today. It's Embellish FX. They're located in downtown Orlando. If you're a cosplayer, you need something, they've got it.
That's right. Thank you so much to all of our partners and friends. Thank you to all of our featured artists and authors who make the
Thank
show
you, Kevis.
happen all the
A
time.
pleasure.
Thank you so much to Kevis for being on the show.
A pleasure.
It was amazing. Thank you for watching the show. Hit subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Hi, I'm Cosplay Michael with the Hangin' with Web Show, and you're listening to Krypton Radio. And remember, cosplay's for everyone.
Discarded by Michael J. Allen. In a world where magic is sold like designer coffee, unknown forces have corrupted it, and it's killing people. Now, an unlikely hero emerges. A homeless ex-con creating spells out of a trash can is the only one who can save the city. Michael J. Allen's Discarded. Available on Amazon.com.
How you doing, everybody? This is KG Bethlehem. I'm an author of a new book called Certain Moments of Time. It's a collection of short stories. These short stories range from post-apocalyptic, dystopian, anti-utopia, as well as general fiction. You can find Certain Moments of Time on sale at Amazon.com, where you can purchase the ebook format as well as paperbook format. You can also purchase it at Lulu.com, paperbook format, and will be on sale soon at BarnesandNoble.com.
Channeling the Mothership is an exciting journey into the higher mysteries. Certified psychic medium and clairvoyant Jerry McDaniel's readings, writings, and messages have been received by thousands of people in more than 45 countries. These messages have been obtained by channeling his higher self. How does he do it? Is it a blessing or a curse? And what lay beyond the reach of your five senses? These mysteries and so much more are examined in this explosive book, Channeling the Mothership. Explore the mysteries of the spiritual and the metaphysical. Channeling the Mothership by author Jerry McDaniel. Available on Amazon.com today.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hanging With Web Show. If you haven't done it yet, go down and hit subscribe. Bang on a little bell. Just
Somewhere down
smash
there.
it really good. You can come back over and over again. We've got authors, artists, filmmakers, musicians. Christian? We got creative minds of all kinds on the Hanging With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter.
And I have a big asterisk by my name now. I'm Christian Basel.
That's right. And we are
The bell
here
and the
at
subscribe button.
Tampa Bay Comic Con in Tampa Bay, Florida, right by the bay. A lot of bay in this opening so far. And we're here with the Bay. We're here with Amanda Byrd, the author of the Dr. Van Wolf saga. Amanda, thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's about time, I have
I'm
to say.
telling you.
We've been chatting for how long now?
Wow, yeah.
Months.
Yeah, months and months. We've been, you know.
But aren't you guys like on the other side of the state?
We are all the way over on the other coast.
And that's why I didn't get to meet you back in December.
That's right.
Because I had a migraine from Melbourne for the
That's
the,
right.
the thing at the mall.
Yep.
The thing is that periodically Facebook will come up and say, you've been friends for 3 years, you've been friends for 5 years, and one day it's going to come up and go, you've been friends for 5 years. Why the hell haven't you gotten together yet?
I think Facebook. I think they should change their algorithm so it doesn't say you've been friends for 5 years. It should say you've been to 26 cons together.
There you go.
That's great.
That's right.
You've had 19 conversations and probably never met in person
That's
once.
exactly right. Amanda, let's talk about your work, man.
So this is the first in a trilogy saga. This is Trapped from the Dr. Van Wolf saga.
Okay.
Think of her as Dexter, but literally a monster. She is part human and part werepire, which is part werewolf and part vampire. So she's 3 parts that make a whole, but she's not really fully human.
It's not complicated.
Not at all. Not at all.
Under species, it says it's complicated on
Yes.
Facebook, on our Facebook page. You know, we make the joke all the time. People ask us, people ask you about your heritage, things like that. I always tell people, my family just did it all over Europe.
That works.
Your heroine, she does it not just all over Europe, like all over interspecies. You got vampire, werewolf.
So she was kind of...
Collect the whole set.
I can't give away too much because it's in the prologue how she
No
became
spoilers.
what she is. I will say part of her was born, part of her was created.
Okay.
And we'll leave it at that.
All right. You got to read the book if you want to know more about that.
She's a Firestone
Yes.
Now,
fire.
this is the Dr. Van Wolf saga.
Yes.
So,
the first of 3, and
first
then I'm
of
working
3.
on, there's a 4th I'm working on that will be entirely horror. This is dark urban fantasy.
Okay.
It's urban because it's set in Tampa. I've taken great liberties with Tampa. There's no land in Tampa. It's basically all water left. That's all we have. so there's a whole lot of land that I have created.
Convention's over now. We're good.
She built
the land. I mean,
I created it.
The writers are creators. She created the
snapped my
land
fingers
from the
and
water.
there it was.
Thanks, Daniel.
Like page 3, she separates the land from the water, and that's where she gets her were-vampire wolf thing girl.
Werepire.
Doctor, werepire.
And yes,
Did
she's
you
a
make
doctor.
that word up?
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing about being a writer, isn't it? If you don't have a word,
Make
make
it up.
one.
Yep.
That's right. How long have you been writing?
3 years.
3 years.
And it took me almost all of 3 years to switch over to fantasy and horror and darkness.
And you're good at it.
Thank
You
you.
dream dark.
I love it.
Loving it, man. That is fantastic. Now, I know you're here under the Bard's Tower.
I am a guest of Bard's Tower this weekend.
How's it going over there?
It's going very, very well.
Yeah?
Last year I volunteered with them. I've known them a couple of years. And this year he brought me on because he thinks my book is awesome. Mr.
He's
Alexi
right.
Vandenberg,
You want to find out, you got to go down to the below and click in the comments, click in the links. Because we're going to put links over there so you can find these books.
Perfect.
That's that, you
You're
know?
also
Perfect.
prime real estate because you got the food court and the bathrooms right there.
And where you buy the celebrity photo ops are also right
Exactly.
there. So that's our real estate. I think every year that's what our real estate was last
Well, you know
year
what's
too.
great is it's a convention. And everyone knows when you come to a Comic-Con event, you stand in line.
Yes.
So if you're going in line
No
to get a
fast
celebrity photo op, you need something to read. So you stop, you see Amanda, you get started on the Dr. Van Wolf saga.
Yep.
While you're waiting for your photo op.
Well, it's not only that, but she's right next to the food court. So while you're eating food, digesting food,
Get something to drink.
something
That's
to read.
right. It's the perfect place. Now, authors gathered around the tower. You got like 6 authors down there.
We do.
6 creative minds under the
Yes.
same banner.
Yes.
That's a recipe for fun.
So something's had to
What,
happen.
what's the
Something's had to
best
happen.
moment so far under the
There
tower?
have been quite a few things. I'm sure my face is matching my lipstick right now. There was something at a bookstore that I was making a joke of. It turns out I'm like, everybody knew I was making a joke, but they're like, you can't say that. And I'm like, I know I can't, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like that it's a joke, and they're like, but don't ever say it again. Okay,
There are a
fine.
lot of those
So,
conversations when you put
there's
enough
a lot of
creative
those
minds.
moments, particularly with me. They're like, shh. I'm not foul in front of children. I will say my books are rated R, so if you're not cool with the violence aspect, don't let your kids anywhere near it.
Now, and, we talked about that when we met up yesterday a little bit.
Yes.
You don't pull punches.
No.
If it's going to get dark, it's going to get dark in a hurry.
Yes.
But you actually had a reader come up and say, more.
Yes. I've had a couple beta readers ask me for it to get darker as well.
Wow.
So book 2 is, I'm just going to call book 2 a demolition derby right now, because she's always got this one big bad that she fights. She's got one in this book. The one in book 2 you would think is like the ultimate kind of big bad that no one would ever want to fight, no one would ever win against, let alone be like, I'm going to kick your butt. Miranda's going for him.
Nice.
Miranda's going for him. She's going to take him out.
Now, writers we're peculiar in that we sit down behind the keyboard and look, I know a writer who sits down and does a paragraph of literally just letters, banging out the key before they start writing. So we've all got our quirks and our rituals. What is the most peculiar quirk or ritual you have in your writing process?
I stare at my computer screen.
Just stare.
Yes.
Like a window,
I
window.
will stare at it and be like,
just
delete, push the letter, delete. And then I will literally just stare at it and be like, nothing is coming out. And a lot of times, like, my big thing anymore is I will get cracked out on Monster, and I will pound down like 3 or 4 of these and bust out 7,000 words, and then shut my computer off and go take a nap. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand it. It just kind of is.
Writers are weird, man.
Sometimes I'll have inspiration, other times I won't. Like the other day I was all excited. I'm like, yeah, I'm writing. 31 words.
31 words.
It was better than 9. I haven't written any since.
That's valid.
I'm
That's
like,
valid.
how am I supposed to put this out by the end of the year if I'm not writing any?
I'll tell you know what it is. It's I think people creating art is a very focused action.
Yes.
And although our minds are all over the place, we have to have that moment of focus, right? You have to have that when you're behind, and 15,000 words, they fall out of your fingertips. But you can go for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I can go for 3 or 4 months, and then I'm like, all right, sit down, deadline, and I will force myself to write. It's the weirdest thing.
What's your favorite part of that creative process for you? What is there a moment when you're reading or rewriting, or what's your favorite part?
Honestly, I'm kind of a control freak, but the fact that I get to kind of make up whatever I want and make it what I want it to be, I think that
gives you that release.
It's almost like a power trip, but not really, because it's just like, oh, I created this, cool, and then
for 80,000 words, you're God. What you say goes.
Yeah,
they don't always.
I know, that way.
Characters, they don't always listen.
And there's people
but
who
we do try.
God
she
right
actually
now.
does.
She does listen.
Sometimes.
When she feels like it. Yeah.
Rarely she listens. She writes herself.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just.
We send them out to the internet when Christian and I don't know what to say. We send them out to the internet sometimes, and we say, find us things that are questions, weird things people are asking, what they're talking about, what they're making memes about, right?
Okay.
All right. Can I volley this one?
Go ahead, man.
Okay. So, what do you do with a rhinoceros?
That's a great question for a writer, by the way.
Okay.
What do somebody's gonna come up and give you a rhinoceros? What do you do with it?
I would ask first, where's the damn saddle? Because I would want to go for a ride on the rhinoceros.
A rhino ride.
Rhinoceros is like 900 pounds. Yeah, I want a saddle. I want to ride it.
Go,
I
baby.
think that would be super cool.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Also, they're so sweet. I would want to feed them.
You have to feed them.
And
because
I would say keep them in my backyard, but I don't really have a yard. I live in a townhouse, and my HOA would be like, get out right now. Get out.
I did read that many homeowners associations in Florida have rules about rhinoceroses in the zone.
Yes, we are.
It's a zoning issue.
It's a non-rhino
They
thing.
have a specification for a particular animal.
You'd be surprised.
Oh,
These
good.
things, I don't know.
HOAs are picky.
So where are you gonna be next? What's coming up? What's coming up? Yeah.
So obviously, book 2 I'm working on. I can't decide if I want to release my pure horror novel, which This one is going to be really fun. I'm
Pure horror. Define. What's going on in that head of yours?
The working title is 13 Reasons Why, or 13 Reasons for Murder, and each chapter is a different reason to murder someone with a different gory death. A different murder,
Some
a
people
different
have more
reason.
than 3.
13.
Oh, 13.
I think I'm up to 19.
13 reasons
So there might be
for
like
murder.
bonus chapters or deleted chapters or something like that. I might give that out to my patrons on Patreon. Who knows? I haven't gotten that far yet. But so there's that in the works. I'm really looking forward to
now,
writing
do you
that
have
one.
all 13 in your head?
No, I've got a few, just not all 13. It actually of course.
Just in case you want to act upon those 13, I'll be right over here.
Yeah.
I'll be on this side.
All right.
I'm not that bad. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
So keep it in the book.
I am a Death Eater, but I'm really not that bad. I promise.
We're loving that, by the way.
She says that's all the guys.
Thank you
That
so
is
much. I had to
fantastic.
have it. I was like complaining for 5 years now. I'm like, I need this tattoo. I need this tattoo. So I went and got it about 2 months ago.
Awesome. We have to wrap it up. That's about all the time we've got. So when we do that, we want to say thank you to our friends. Say thank you to those people.
I will.
Christian.
All right, folks. Well, it is time to wrap it up. And some of the folks that we want to give a shout out to are some of you. I can never get
You
it
never
right.
get
I
that
never
one.
get it right, and I'm so
Those
sorry.
are our
but
great friends
Something
over at
Unique
Something Unique magazine.
Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies. Yvonne Mason with Off the Chain, and our new guys, Pound the Grape.
Pound the Grape in
and
Melbourne.
Embellish FX in Orlando. Pound the Grape is in Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
In Melbourne.
Great
So we
little
want to
wine bar.
welcome them to
Great
the...
place to sit down and write and have a drink of wine. Got to come by.
So we want to welcome them to the
like a
Hanging
trip
with
to
Web
me.
team.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. Remember, everybody, subscribe right now.
The
Click on
bell,
that.
and the subscribe button.
That's right. Log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Hi, I'm John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem, and you're listening to Krypton Radio.
The Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour on Krypton Radio, bringing you the very best in pop culture talk radio. Each Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour with your hosts G.W. Pomichter and Christian Basel, who are hanging with rising pop culture newcomers as well as superstar icons. The Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour. Tune in Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Who are you hanging with?
Greetings, true believers. This is absolutely, positively not Stan Lee, reminding you that you are listening to Krypton Radio. Krypton? That's the other guys. It's Sci-Fi for your Wi-Fi. Excelsior!
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hanging With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. We are at MegaCon, Tampa Bay, at the Tampa Bay Convention Center. We're here all weekend long. We've got authors, artists, comic creators, cosplayers, filmmakers, musicians, creative minds of all kinds coming to the Hanging With Web Show this weekend. We're hanging right now with Hanging With Web Show alumnus and good friend Austin Janowsky. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
How you been?
I am great.
It has been like a year since we had you in the chair.
Yes.
It's been a busy year for you.
It has been a busy year.
That's right. Now, guys, Austin is an actor, producer, director,
comic book guy.
Comic book creator.
Yeah.
He's like just a creative guy.
I do stuff.
He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Most of it you guys like.
Hopefully.
If you don't like it, that's because you haven't seen it yet and you need to.
Yeah.
We talked last year about Dawn and the Dead. You
Yes.
you debuted the film here at MegaCon. And since then, you've been doing all kinds of stuff. Bring us up to speed, man. What's going on in Austin's life?
So, since the show last year, with Dawn and the Dead, we had different festivals, and we kind of got feedback and everything what we liked, didn't like, what they wanted changed and everything. We created a prequel comic book, a story to introduce the characters.
Okay.
In comic book form, and I thought it'd be interesting if we'd made it into actually a motion comic.
Wow.
So,
cool idea.
Yeah, we had actors come in. Yes, actors come in and voiceovers. I directed them, and we made a motion comic and actually screened yesterday here at 3:30.
Well?
It went good.
Yeah?
Yeah, people seem to dig it.
That's
so
awesome.
It was good.
That's an awesome idea.
And just doing shows and promoting it. And but we're revamping it a little bit. We are changing how many minutes we're going to be doing And
it's out there as a web series, correct?
Yeah, so we're going to keep it as a web series for now. We are going to do full 8 episodes. We're talking with the Pinellas County Film Commission to actually shoot in Pinellas County. They have a program for web content.
Nice.
So hopefully we can work with them for locations, for costs, and everything like that. So that's kind of what behind the scenes what we've been doing.
Wow.
So now that we're getting close to that, then we're going to make sure that all actors are still on board, because they seem to be. They're on board. And then we're going to schedule times and everything for 2019. We're going to shoot all the episodes and get it all done. And then we can start putting them out, and that way they're good to go. And this way you can see a full season, just like Netflix.
Boom.
Only better.
Boom.
Not better,
There's
but
zombies. There's action heroes. You know what? You want to find out? Go check out the motion comic.
yeah, check the motion comic will be on www.dawnandthedead.com. It'll be up probably next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, along with the pilot.
So if you're watching this, it's probably there right now.
Yeah.
And you could all you have to do is click the link below.
Let's go.
And we made it easy. We put a link down there. All they got to do is click like that. Boom.
Easy peasy.
And then it's instant entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You personally have been on just one hell of a ride this year too. We've been following you on social media, man. You've been auditions. You've been doing all kinds of great stuff.
It's it's been kind of crazy. I been lucky to I started producing different things, and it's weird. Like Lori Clyburn has a great series she created called Timing.
Okay.
It's drama. It fits. I mean, best friends, but they have feelings for each other. It's kind of like what you've heard in the past.
It's got that great tension. Yeah.
But the secondary characters is what really bring the story to life. So it's very interesting. So I'm lucky to be part. I play Uncle Ray.
Uncle Ray.
Yeah, I play Uncle Ray, curmudgeon Uncle Ray, who doesn't like the main character. But then Lori, we're good friends. She asked me if I would help produce the pilot, and I said that'd be great. So I helped do that. So she's got connections with Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. So we have a meeting next month for that.
That's amazing, man.
So
look, for all you guys out there that think you got to be 22 and hot, Austin and I are both here to tell you, as long as you're still hot, it works.
Yeah. Or just
tenacious.
Yeah, or you got the pity factor.
It does. I
not you, me.
No, I play that.
No, you're hot.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway.
So besides that, I got asked to produce and direct a reality TV show called Don't Change the Channel. It's a medium type show. She's a medium. She channels spirits. The show's about manifesting positivity, love, that sort of thing. She writes, her name's Michelle. She has 3 best-selling novels, and we did the pilot, which is great. We went to Studio 32, pitched it to producers. They liked it. We did the sizzle reel, and I was looking at networks, and they're looking at it. So there's
living the dream.
I'm like I said, I'm doing stuff.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so many artists and people who start in a creative arts career, they get bogged down in those first moments.
Yeah.
Of course, we all know what that's like. You learn to get used to the word no a lot, and it takes that tenacity to take you to the next level where things start moving. All the moving parts start coming together, and it's hard work.
You know what's motivating me to do this now? I've done comics since '94.
Mm-hmm.
It was the thing with design, and as a designer, I've been lucky. I worked for Disney and I worked for Universal and all that stuff. But when I had my shots in comics to really take the next step, I was afraid, man. I was afraid because what if? And I let those opportunities squander itself. And I made excuses like, well, because, I was busy, or well, because, no, I was afraid. I didn't have that gumption. I didn't have that belief to take the next step. Now that I'm 40-something, and I put it before, and I'm not trying to get religious, but as my own faith, I put my faith in. I prayed before God, and I talked to my wife, and I said, let's give this a shot. And I'm just walking the path that He's putting before me.
That's if you are a creative artist, if you're a creative mind, like you said, in our youth sometimes those opportunities, they come and they go.
Yeah.
We're so hurried and we're so driven in one direction or another that we miss those things that are laid right in front of us.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you say, you know what, I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust in what's there.
Right.
And good things start to happen.
Yeah.
You have to kind of give it up a little bit. Whether you're a person of faith or not, you have to give it up a little bit to the opportunities that come at you.
Yeah.
Let life happen and make decisions. Because when you're afraid, when you're young,
no, you're fine.
Life gets to
it's
happen
my bad.
without you. We're going to take this real quick. We're going to take this real quick.
No, it's okay. It's just my wife.
Call him back.
It's okay.
He'll
Just
take it.
30
He'll take
seconds.
it. 30 seconds. Just
Okay.
call him back. All right. Those opportunities,
Yeah.
you know, if you take advantage of them, good things start to happen. And your career is unfolding right before your eyes, and you just follow the path every step.
The worst thing you can do is ask, what if and not do and then regret.
Yeah.
It's better to try and fail and say, at least I gave it a shot.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
I try and fail every Tuesday.
She's holding that thing up.
Best, craziest moment in the last 30 days. He's been at conventions. All right, this ought to be good.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
So the best, craziest moment is actually holding auditions for 2 proof of concept films that I'm going to be shooting later on this year. One is called Mortem Happens. It's a dark comedy.
Mortem Happens.
Mortem Happens, yeah.
I saw like a T-shirt for that.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other one is Waiting on Faith. So
Okay.
I went through casting networks and everything like that. Got a lot of really great actors from all over Florida and Georgia and everything, and broadened the scope. And I'm working with great new people that I haven't worked with before, branching things out in our community, not just working with the same few, because once you broaden your scope, lift everybody up, the community by itself gets better, the quality gets better, and then Hollywood and something will look like, oh, they know what they're doing. Oh, they can get the job done.
Don't spend
They're
all your
professional.
time jacking your own boat up. Be a part of the storm, and
Yeah.
all the boats will rise.
Yeah,
when
you
the
lift
tide
yourself
comes in.
up, they're going to lift you up, and they're going to remember, you know what I
Yep,
mean?
that's right.
I try to be truthful. I set realistic expectation. I ask for high quality, and that's what I try to do, man.
And you're doing it. And you're doing it. And we follow you all the time. I know they're following you all the time.
I'm on them all the time, but I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys. You guys,
Hey, we appreciate you, man. You know
Yeah.
what? We tell people all the time. I really am living the dream.
Yeah.
I went to school for journalism. I worked in corporate journalism. I did all of those things, and then I got to come out here and with our own show and talk to you guys and meet other creative artists, other
Yeah.
like-minded people who wanted to build community. Everybody wants to be the instant superstar.
Sure.
But really what this community comes together and is a part of is all those boats rising together,
Yeah.
watching everybody else's successes.
Yeah.
When we go on social media and we watch, Austin has done another audition, Austin is doing another project.
Yeah.
We see those successes. That's a part of the community. The community feels successful
Yeah.
then. That's what it's about. You
Well,
guys
that's
are delivering that
like
every day.
The Best of the Bay, and I got nominated for Best Actor, and my friend Mark did it, and I said, okay. But so I posted, I'm like, so I'm nominated for Best of the Bay, that's great. I said, so either vote for me or you've got my friends like blah, blah, Joe Davidson and, Sean Gloria and all of them. I'm like, not for me, vote for them because they're just as good, if not better than me. You know what I mean?
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You build that community so everybody can do it. Where are you going to be up the road? Where are you headed next?
So Emerald City is doing a one-day fan fest.
Okay.
So I'm going to be there next month.
Yeah.
And then I might be doing a show in Jekyll, but I've got filming in October, and I've got filming in December.
He can't spend all his time here. He's got to film.
Yeah, I'm
He's
filming.
got to shoot this stuff.
I got stuff. Yeah,
Stuff,
and then
gotta
I've got
do stuff.
in January and February. I'm actually acting in 2 features. So
That's fantastic.
thanks.
That is awesome. Guys, check out the links down below so you can check out more of Austin Janowsky. Find out what he's producing, what he's directing, what he's acting in, what new comic stuff is out there, because he's got now motion comics coming to the Dawn and the Dead
Yeah, and
website.
I got some comic book stuff coming up too, but we'll talk about that next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And next time won't be that long this time.
No.
Yeah. We do. Yeah, we try to get out a new interview every day with
Sure.
new folks. And we always, we love hanging out with our friends and catching up with everybody, but we try to put some distance between interviews. But Austin and us, we've been running into each other at like the last 4 events and just never been able to put the schedule together.
Dude, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys have been just blown up since last year. You guys have been so busy. You're like wanting, like, people are coming to you now, wanting to get interviews, so it's fantastic.
Sometimes they come and just give us the restraining order and move us out of the way.
True.
But it's working, That's the stupid shut up card again.
Okay.
She's very rude with that card.
It's okay.
All right. Well, we love these people. These are the people at Some Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Pound the Grape in Melbourne, Florida, Embellish FX in Orlando, Florida. These are the folks that are sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web. We hope you will be one of them. Share this video. Share Austin's work. Hit the links down below. Check out the motion comic. Check out the videos. There'll be lots of links. Because we're going to tell you, it's like www.austindoesstuff.com. We need to buy that.
So that's actually a good idea.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been hanging with Austin Janowsky here at MegaCon Tampa Bay. Remember, everybody, stay logged on, stay tuned in, and see who we're hanging with next.